and going.
And going, and going, and going, and going.
When you need a break, we're here, helping you make sense of all the good and the going of the holidays. Happy holidays from all of us at ubnradio.com.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Studio
Welcome
audience.
to Don't Wig Out. Studio audience. Hey, George.
Hi, Ames.
You look like... Okay, I'm just going to say, when I came in today, like, Georgia didn't have any makeup on. I think the makeup from last night, wherever she was on, was
What
still
are you
on her
trying to
face, all right?
say?
And now she's, like, transformed.
That's an Amy sound, by the way. You do that all the time.
I know. Anyway, I'm so glad you're joining us. So this is kind of a cool show tonight, okay? One of our sponsors who came on to support us is Extensions Plus. You know, I've been talking about them because we get a lot of letters from people who, and I don't do a lot of extensions, I do more wigs. But actually, when I went into the business, I was just consulting, and I walked into this, I'd heard about this woman, Helene Stahl, who'd been in the business forever and a day, and she was the go-to woman in California. If I wanted to learn about wigs, she was like the go-to. And you're going to find out what our journey has been. She's really awesome. Extensions Plus has been around for now 27 years.
Amazing.
And yeah, her head marketing director, Gerald Yates, is with her. So we're going to talk to, and we're going to gossip. We're going to do a little kibitz with Helene Stahl.
I'm just so
And-
excited to see or hear how hair has changed in the last 27 years.
There's
as
a
far
lot.
as
I just thought this was an
extensions
interesting
go. Wow.
segment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? What else?
I'll be talking about some stuff, but it's a secret. So that's exciting. But more importantly, if you want to call in, because we love it when you call in, you can call in at 323-284-7826. We'll pick up the phone and we'll talk to you. If you want to ask a question but don't want to have your voice on air, you can do it over here. There's a chat box. And if you write, John sends it to us. We know that you're there and we can see you're there. So feel free to write. Also, if there's something that you're a little nervous about sharing on air, you can do that at info@don'twigout.com, and we will write back and answer any questions you have. We know some things are more private than you want to have on air. If you would like to Twitter at us or tweet, as some people say, you can do that. I have a thing here. It sends Twitter things to me, and I will read it, and we will respond. The Twitter is @Don'tWigOut1.
Oh, my God. We've created a monster.
Yeah, you know. You can also go to Facebook. Just type in Don't Wig Out. We have all of our information there. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, where have you been? But welcome. And we have all of the other episodes on Vimeo.com. If you type in Don't Wig Out, we're there, and we're amazing.
We're rocking. We're rocking. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Helene Stahl from Extensions Plus. John Williams, our board director extraordinaire. You look really cute, John.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I love his voice.
He's blushing.
So welcome back to Don't Wig Out with Amy and Georgia. So here's the deal with Helene Stahl, our guest. She is, I don't know, how do I explain this? She is not only the go-to girl of Hollywood for hair and for extensions. I'm not going to say who she does because she does every big star. But here's the deal. When I was first starting my business, I started out as just a consultant. I wasn't a wig designer at all. I had worn wigs. I'd been on a bunch of shows, as you know, and I had people making wigs for me, and I knew a little bit, but I didn't know how to really approach clients and what their needs were and how to really achieve that for them correctly. And somebody said, well, you got to go to this chick named Helene Stahl, Extensions Plus, and she's been around for years. She's been around. At that time, it was only 12 years. She's been around. Now she's around for 27. And I picked up the phone and I said, hi, I'm Amy Gibson, and I was told that I should call you because I'm going to be a consultant for wigs. And she was like, listen, just come in. We'll talk when you come in. Just come in. So I came in. And that was history. And here she is now, and she's one of our sponsors, and I'm so grateful. And welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And she's also so funny. And we're also here to invite Gerald Yates, who is her head marketing consultant here, right? Or you make marketing director? How would we?
Something like that.
Something like that in marketing area. Welcome, Helene. Thank you so much for taking the drive down here too. I know you drove a while. So if somebody were to put in a paragraph or a small sentence, who is Helene Stahl? What would you say?
Multi-person. I'm a mom, and I'm a business person, and I've been in the hair business my whole life, and I love what I do. You're
a mom to like everybody, though.
Yeah.
Everybody. Forget just being a mom. I mean, she has all these clients and all these wonderful people working for her. My friend Marlene, shouting out, girl. But I see you as more than that. I actually see you as an amazing wig designer.
Thank you.
Incredibly creative, very focused, very driven. And when you want to do something, you do it. Regardless if somebody says no, I think that if you want it, you're going to get it. And that's just what I really admire about you. So what made you go into hair in the first place?
My parents were hairdressers. I grew up in the hair business.
I never knew that about you.
No, well, yeah, but my parents, like I said, we had a beauty shop. And
did they make wigs or no? They were just cutting and styling?
Yeah, it was a style. I used to style wigs when I was 9.
Seriously?
At my dad's shop.
Get out. Oh, my God, you've always loved hair. That's like Kathleen. I said to my stylist, when did you know you love hair? I have loved hair since the beginning.
That's what I love. I love that when it's not just I got into hair because I realized it was a business. Yeah. Or I got into hair because I realized people need them, especially extensions. It's such a buzz thing now. To know that it comes from 9 years old with you, that's the person I'm going to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then, what did you do when you wanted to start Extensions Plus, did you start it out of your house? Did you start it out of a small shop? What was it like?
Well, I originally started it as applying hair extensions.
Excuse me for 1 second. Extensions Plus is the leading extension design, manufacturing, retail in the world, just so you know. Just that I put that out there to you.
Here.
That's right. So go on. So.
No, I started by applying hair, and when I would do a customer and put the extensions on, the hair was really bad. And, I would make the hair. I handmade all the wefts, and we put them on, and then when they go to wash it, the hair all matted up. So I said, you know what, there has to be better quality hair out there. And that's what I did. I went on a mission to find hair all over the world.
Wow.
And manufacture and process it, and I learned to do that over a period of a couple of years, learning how to process and how to color, and I'd already been a hairdresser license, and so it wasn't it wasn't difficult, but it's not the same thing as working on a client.
Right. What do you think the differences are?
It's better.
You don't have to deal with the client.
You don't have to deal with the clients. Well, the thing is, this is that when you're working with extension hair, you're working with multiple hair from different people.
Right.
That's blended together. It's not, when you work on a client, it's their head, their hair, that's it.
And it's not breathing, and there are no natural oils. So.
Right. So when you deal with extensions, it's a multitude of hair from different people, and you have to be very careful when you process it, because it will it's not the same
when
thing.
You say process, for those viewers that are watching, no problem. Processing is what you need to do to hair to make sure the cuticle is going in one direction, right?
Well, that's how we purchase the hair. We purchase all our hair, Remy hair,
Okay.
which is all cut hair that is all going in one direction.
Is that what Remy means?
Yeah, that's what Remy means.
All these years I've been buying wigs and dealing with this and never knew that. I just thought that must have been like a brand.
No, that's a higher quality. When you buy, a lot of the hair in the market is non-Remy, which means that the hair is going in different directions.
And then it gets tangled and it gets old.
Yeah, well, they just scale it. They do different things to it. They put coatings on it, and after a month, then the coatings come off, and then the hair starts matting
So what is
up.
processing exactly?
Well, when I say process, I'm talking about bleaching, dyeing,
Okay.
perming.
Okay. So when you get most of your hair comes in dark?
Yeah. Except
And then
when
you
we
have
get,
to bring it up?
Well, yeah. Now, I mean, some of the hair we get in is from Russia, and it's lighter colors.
Right.
But that type of hair is
Now,
very
this is a
rare
really
now.
gross question, but I just have to ask you. Is it lice free when you get it, or do you have to
no
de-lice it?
No. No, it's definitely without lice.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh my God. So what would you think are the top 3 things that are wrong with alternative hair today, or hair that is not in the head? So if it's a wig or if it's extensions. So what do you think are the 3 top things that are wrong in today's market?
I would say that
Do you think it's the way it's sold? Do you think it's the way it's put in? Do you think it's the quality?
well, people, I've always gone for the higher quality. We've always worked in that direction, and I've always wanted to make something that I'd be proud to wear, or that I would let my family wear. And it's hard when I work with lesser quality, or I see people wearing lesser quality, and when they have problems with it matting and tangling, it's not just replacing it, it's the labor of putting it back in.
Yeah, I think that my beef with hair today is even when I buy it from the factory and they say that I'm buying something and I get it and it's not what it is, right? So even forget that I'm a manufacturer, designer, whatever, just as a wig wearer, and we both have had this experience, that you go and you buy something and it looks great and it feels great, and then you go home and you wash it a few times. And I think the thing that I feel is wrong is the integrity of the business. I think the integrity has, unfortunately, a black cloud upon it in this industry, that you don't always get
Well, it's
what
like
you're asking for.
it feels like those moments we've all had when you bought a secondhand car. And it looks beautiful, and you're so excited about it, and the dealer's telling you all the good things, and then a month later, the check engine light comes on.
Yes, you hate that.
Let's show some pictures. Let's show some pictures.
Thank you for agreeing with
What do we want to go over first? Because I want everyone to see.
Yeah, I'd really love to understand what the products are that they do, because I am the new
tell
one
me
to
some
this.
So tell me some of the highlights of what Extensions Plus offers.
Well, originally we always did custom work, where we handmade wefts, and the hair we specifically colored it, and we did everything on premises.
Right.
So that's, so we can maintain the quality.
Okay, but I see that you have a number of other things. So Extensions Plus does falls.
Yes.
And so
Yeah,
take me through this.
We went into ready-made products.
Okay.
And we have a number of ready-made products. We have wefts, machine wefts. We have falls. We have closures.
What are closures?
Closures are essentially the top piece of...
So like toppers.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. So for those of you that don't understand what a topper is, figure a little piece of material with a lot of hair coming down, right? A little piece of material. If you're Jewish, it looks like a yarmulke. But it basically sits on top, and you clip it in, and it kind of adds a volume. It kind of adds one layer of hair. And toppers are great because they can be made really small if you have a little bald spot, or larger, and they're really fantastic. And the toppers you make are great because they're nice, they're flat, they look great. If you want height, you can do height. And so then you have the relaxed closure. You also have.
Well, we have 5 main collections. It's zigzag, silky relaxed. We make Bollywood, but it's not in the closure. And we also have royal, which is more of a, silkier, straighter type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are 5 major collections.
Okay.
And then we make all of the, I guess you call them the product lines off of that. So the wefts, the closures.
Because we're looking at the toppers here. I mean, they rock out. And And then the interesting thing is, okay, so if somebody has, here's the thing I think is most difficult for what you do, is it's not only matching someone's hair color, it's matching their texture. So you don't go from your texture to then the texture of the topper, and somebody goes, oh my God, I really love that piece, right? I mean, you want to make sure that somebody doesn't know you're wearing. So when somebody comes in, what's the process that you do in making something custom? Do you take a piece of their hair and you match it? Is that what you try to do with them?
Yes, we take a sample of their hair, and we show them samples of the type of hair that we have, the different textures, and we try to match as close as we can to what their specifications are. Because sometimes people have like really curly or coarser hair, and they don't necessarily want to have that type of hair as an extension. So we will match it to what they want.
Right. So what are the best ways to maintain non-breathing hair? Because does most of your clientele sew in their hair, or is it clip-ins?
I would say the trend now is going into clip-ins.
That's
A lot
so
of people
good to hear.
they sewed the wefts in, and but now a lot of people are going to clip-ins.
You're finding more of that. So what is the best way to maintain them, other than putting them in a rescue bag? No, but I mean, do you put them in a plastic bag? Do you need to condition them more than usual? Do you have to spray them with something if you're going to store them? What are the best ways to maintain them?
Well, to maintain them, the first thing is that you need to make sure that you moisturize the hair, that you use good shampoos and you moisturizer, not just condition.
So what do you suggest? What's a good moisturizer?
Well, we use Joico. We use.
I love their products.
we like Joico, and we use Lonza.
Really?
Yeah, those are the ones that we've maintained all these years. We've tried different products, and for the type of hair that we have, these work the best.
Really? Oh, wow.
I mean, other products have coming out. I mean, it's the whole industry has changed dramatically since back in the day, but these two products have been a staple of ours.
So if somebody were to come in to your shop, what do you think are the most important things a person needs to ask someone like you or your sales help if they're coming in to buy something?
I would probably say the most important thing would be texture and then length. Because a lot of people want to go with really long hair, and that when they first start wearing extensions, I suggest they go a little bit shorter.
Really?
To get used to it. If you have short hair and then you're wearing something really long, it's hard to maintain.
Interesting. So does it get tangled? I mean, if you're not...
Well, it's more work. It's maintenance, and if people are not used to doing maintenance on your hair, then you'll have issues.
See, I think that one of the most important things when it comes to color is to make sure that you don't pick your color out indoors, because you're never going to get the right read on the color. When we've done stuff, we step outside in natural light. But I think people forget that, and it's really important. Step outside. And if the salesperson is saying, well, you can't really leave with that, say, you know what, here's my license, and don't pressure me. I need to make sure the color is correct. Give me your mirror. And, please don't sell me something just because you need your rent this week. Let me see if it matches correctly. Yeah.
I was just wondering, on average, your clients that come in, female or male, are they dealing with androgenetic alopecia? What do you find tends to be the most common reason that people are getting extensions?
Well, I would say for a lot of the full pieces, the wigs, we deal with a lot of alopecia clients, and also clients that have had cancer in the past. Those are for the wigs. For our extension line, it varies. I mean, it could be anything from
beauty.
Beauty. Customer had a bad scenario with the stylist, didn't like the hair, didn't like the style, wanted to bring the hair back, just got her hair cut, didn't like the style. So it varies, but I would say for definitely the full pieces that we offer, a lot of the clients, they've had some health issues with alopecia and cancer.
Okay.
So Helene, who's so creative, created something called Edges. And when we come back, I want to find out what the heck this thing is. It looks very cool. It's brand new on the market, although you've had it for a little bit, but nothing like this. I've only seen them in dark black before, but this is something new. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. I want to find out what Edges is.
The Theradome Laser Helmet, with the power of 80 lasers, is the world's first FDA-cleared, wearable at-home device for hair restoration therapy. Proven to grow new healthy hair, double the follicle size of existing hair, and slow down and stop hair loss. It's an easy-to-use, one-touch rechargeable system for only 20 minutes a day, 2 times a week. With an incredible 98% success rate, the Theradome Laser Helmet combines clinical results with convenient home use. Get this groundbreaking technology today at theradome.com.
Don't Wig Out with Amy and Georgia. And we're here with Helene Stahl and Gerald Yates. We have a phone call? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a phone call for Helene, I guess? Yep, not for me. I think it's for Helene from Extensions Plus. Hello? Hi, how are you doing? Hi, who's this? How you doing? Welcome to Don't Wig Out.
Hi. I just was listening to the show, and I had a question.
Okay.
Because, I'm always wearing extensions or, different things, and my hair is, it's not too thick, but it's fairly thick. And when I get the sewn on, sometimes, because I'm so petite, sometimes it looks like a helmet on my head, like, I was born with, like, half of a sister in the back of my head. Like I have a big lump.
No.
And I was just wondering, when you have them sewn on, if I had a stylist do it, how would I have her sew it on, so it wouldn't be so, like, thick?
You actually, the braiding that they use to sew it onto, or the system, they need to make the braids thinner and flatter.
Really?
And not if you're going to sew more than one weft at a time.
Another caller? Okay.
If you're going to sew 2 wefts on under one row, then you sew it one underneath the other, not on top of it.
Ah.
So then it makes flatter.
A technique called the pole. I mean, what are the other? I mean, that's an old technique. Look at Helene's face. Oh my God! What is the technique to use now that you can tell this? I'm sorry, your name?
Mine?
Yes.
Cynthia Lerman.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
You're so cute.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for calling in. But I'm trying to get the technique that you should tell your stylist. Maybe so whoever you're going to have do your hair, or maybe you can call Extensions Plus and ask them. But what is the best technique that it's used now?
It all depends. You've got the tape ins. You've got the we have Shrinklings, which is our brand. You have gluing in, the ones, the individuals. The braids, the sewing ones, have been around the longest, and for most people, it's the best for them because they don't have to worry about when they get up in the morning clipping them in or other, in that sense.
So remember to do small braids and
thin.
Flat, thin and small and flat,
and not on top of each other.
And not on top of each other. And also, Extensions Plus number is 818-881-5611. And you can always call there and ask somebody there if they have a stylist. I don't know, where are you located, by the way?
I'm in California.
Los Angeles? Los Angeles, okay. So maybe if you call there and ask for maybe Marlene or somebody there, just ask. Marlene or someone, ask if they know of a good stylist in your area.
A recommendation.
Oh, I'll remember that. That's my sister's name.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Was that everything that you wanted to ask?
Yes, thank you. That really helped,
Okay. Well,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I really appreciate you calling in. Thanks so much.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay,
Thanks,
you too.
Oh
my God, she was so cute.
I know.
Another caller?
We did have, and they have to call back.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Interesting. So thinner and braiding. Okay. I actually did not know that.
Yeah. Well, there's other systems too. I mean, you can ventilate on strips, which will be very flat too.
Okay. So tell me about that, the edge.
The edges?
Yeah,
Okay.
how does this work?
Well, it's to describe it, it's almost like a headband.
Okay.
A lace headband, and it comes around the edge, around the face, and it's
so
very thin lace.
So you can sort of make any wig a lace front.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Yeah.
It supplements the natural hairline. So, say for instance, you have an issue with your edge pulling out.
Where's your camera? So let's show what that looks like.
All right, it's basically like this. But what it is
Can we see that on the camera?
Yeah.
you have the
edge light.
I guess what would you call it? The ventilation.
Yeah, it's a fine lace that's very lightly ventilated.
Beautiful.
So when you put it on your
Skin, it disappears.
It looks like it's natural.
Wow, may I?
Yes.
Just too cool.
So if you
So what type of hair is in here?
That is royal hair.
And so what is royal hair?
That's one of our 5 lines of hair, and
it's
more of a silky, straighter.
So it's sort of like that. Like how cool
That's
is
really
that?
cool.
I mean, the first thing I think is for anybody who has a wig and they want to put this, all of a sudden they have a lace front and now you can wear it back. I mean, I just think it's fabulous. And how long did it take you to create this?
It took us a couple years to develop it and get the right form and shape.
Do you want to see this, George?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because you don't have to glue those down.
You don't?
don't?
Then
You
how
don't
does it
need
stay
to-
down?
It's just the way that it's created, the dynamic of the base. You may want to tack a little bit on each side,
Oh, I would, because
Okay.
I would be afraid it would move.
and that's basically about it.
they come in different sizes as well. So if your crown is a little smaller,
Right.
you have the smaller size, which it'd be more easier.
Okay.
To
I like that
place.
it has the elastic on the back.
But yeah, we
It's
make them smaller so they're snug,
Got it.
and then it
I
gives.
want one. I want to get one.
You know what? This would. My hair loss is such that this would probably work for it. That's really interesting.
Well,
actually.
I actually thought since we're having this issue with your current wig, maybe this is something we can use with that, which would be kind of cool.
That'd be very interesting. Yeah.
So with that, do you
Yeah,
mind
I'll
if I
have to
ask
grow
you
my
what
hair
they
out.
sell for?
What the wigs, the
The
edges
lace
sell for?
edges, yeah.
The edges, I think they're like I want to say 180. Like
Retail, they're
Under 200, yeah?
retail.
depends on the type of hair. I believe
It's like 230.
230.
To like and like that 230, 240.
That's really reasonable because you can turn your wig into anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the craziest thing that's happened to you in 27 years of doing this business with Extensions Plus? She does all these big celebrities, but she doesn't want to mention names, so I'm not going to push her.
Oh God.
I mean, have you ever had somebody come in and, I mean, women are hormonal, okay? I'm hormonal. We're losing our hair. We're nuts. What's the craziest thing? I mean, did somebody ever come in and order 10 wigs? I mean, did you ever have a celebrity that, wanted to be black hair one day and walks in and says, excuse me, but I ordered blonde? Or think of a crazy thing. I mean, was there everything in 27 years?
Oh, a lot of times they'll order something and give us, and we take a sample. They come back to pick it up and it doesn't match, and they said, well, it's the same color. We know that they colored their hair.
Of course.
They colored their hair since then, and it's
Oh, my God. And what do you say? That's hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, we have the samples so that we can show them that this is the sample we took and this is what we went off of.
Right. So in 27 years, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment in this business with Extensions Plus?
I would say all the confidence that we've given women who've had hair issues. It gives them confidence. I don't know. For myself, I wear extensions, and it gives me a lot of confidence. My hair is thin and short. Well, not short, but it doesn't grow. So since I wear the extensions,
That's not your hair that you have on?
No.
You know that I always thought that was your hair? For 15 years, I thought that was your hair?
It's extensions. I have the
That's
sprinkling,
crazy.
and I love it. It's like my security blanket. I would
I'm
never
glad you
go
wear
without
them,
it.
though, because it's your company. I'd be
Yeah.
kind of bummed if you didn't.
Yeah, well,
Where are yours?
But it's also a good way for extensions. What I like is that if you want to have highlights, if you want to change your look, you can do that instantaneously without coloring your hair. And
Are the lace edges used for men as well?
I was going to ask that.
Be an interesting thing for you to do. Come out with a men's line that just can help with the front. I think that would be really cool.
yeah, that is something to think about.
Now, what is the blonde piece in front of you?
This is a custom piece, a custom fall, and we sewed a weft closure on the top.
Wow, let me see. Isn't that gorgeous?
That is beautiful hair.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy. this is a fall. This isn't even a full wig. It almost looks like a 3/4.
It does.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a real wig.
Love the color. Oh my God, the color rocks out.
That looks
doesn't
really good on you, Ames.
But look good on you too. It's gorgeous. And so, what does something like this sell for?
Custom. I'm.
Yeah.
Oh, another call.
Up. Okay. Hi there. Welcome to Don't Wig Out with Amy and Georgia. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. My name is Cindy, and I'm calling in to talk to Helene.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Helene, this is
Oh,
Cindy.
hi. I didn't know it was that easy. Are you on the phone?
She's in the studio. Do you have a question?
Oh, yes, I do. Here's my question. I noticed that the clip-on extensions are more cost-effective, and they seem easier on the hair. So what is the advantage of the sew-in?
Good question.
Okay, if you're wearing the extensions, clipping them in on a daily basis, it is just more time efficient to have them sewn in, and you don't have to worry about placing them in at the same place, every day. And it
So it's more consistent.
It's more consistent, and it's less time consuming. So instead of having to clip them in, it's already in.
How long have you been wearing extensions, Cindy?
I haven't really decided. I was just playing around with the idea. I just tried a clip-on. I haven't even really done the sew-in yet.
So is your hair broken? Is your hair thin? Or is it just that you want to be a diva?
It's thin, and I'd like more of it. It's thin and not long enough.
Ah, okay. So
I would like
you
to
need
add
volume
length
and length.
and a little volume.
Okay. So my question about that is, if her hair is thin, is she going to cause further damage by doing clip-ins versus sew-in?
If she puts them in and just slightly alters the place where you're putting them in, that'll help it keep from breaking.
For the clip-ins.
For the clip-ins.
Right.
Tape-ins, if your hair is really fine, that might not be good for you because it may break your hair. It may tear.
Okay.
Actually, may tear your.
Oh, did you hear it? Did you hear what Helene said, Cindy?
I did. Thank you so much. So I'll see which is better. It sounds like the sew-in is safer in the long run for the welfare of the hair. Would that be correct?
Yes, it would be, but you need to make sure that who you go to, because it has to be somebody who really knows what they're doing.
So Helene,
I see.
so just so you know, Extensions Plus, I don't know how long you've been watching or listening tonight, but their phone number is 818-881-5611. And you can always call and ask for a recommendation for somebody who puts them in, or with something that you may want to purchase from them, and they'll give you the safest, most, I guess, reliable one to use for your hair,
Yeah, I would send her.
Great.
I would send her to someone.
Thank you, Amy. I love your show.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Thank you for calling. And you were going to say something, Helene? Just 1 second.
I would refer her to somebody that we know that
Okay.
that would absolutely do a great job.
Do it
for
safely.
Her. Yeah.
Well,
That
thank
would
you,
be
Cindy.
fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Let us know how
Bye.
it is. If you want to send us a
Bye.
picture, send me a picture. Well, that 2 call-ins. That was nice. Okay. See, people are curious about this stuff. I mean, I take it for granted doing wigs. I don't do extensions. And I take it for granted that so many women need them. I mean, I'll have like little clip-ins in the shop, but really for the sew-ins, that's really Kathleen's thing. And I really didn't know a lot about it, so I'm really glad that you came on.
Can I ask a quick question? Do you
please.
guys do the rows as well? Because working in film and TV, I mean, the biggest thing for me was when I first lost my hair, I was devastated. Obviously, one of the biggest things was, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to walk onto a show and be like, so this is the deal. When I got into hair and makeup. And every single hair and makeup girl was like, are you kidding me? We add hair to every girl that walks in here. But they always use the rows. Do you guys do rows as well?
Those are wefts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are wefts.
Yeah,
But they
wefts.
don't sew them in. They
they do.
They clip
They
them in.
could.
They sew them in. More than likely, if they're going on a show, they're not sewing them in. They're probably clipping them in or
Okay.
taping them in.
Yeah, I guess I never had it happen because I had a full head of hair and then I had
So
no
I know
hair.
I know you don't want to talk about. I'm sorry.
No,
I know you don't want to talk about celebrities, but you could tell me about 1 or 2 shows that you're doing. Come on, Helene.
Shows? Okay.
Well, you're sponsoring a big show, right? Extensions Plus is involved in one of the shows. So tell me.
We're in several. We're sponsoring several shows at this point. we recently did the Tiny and Chicana weave truck where we sponsored all the hair for the weave truck. That was a very interesting show. It's I think the finale was last week. We're actually working.
Excuse me for a second. Do you watch that, John? Does John knows about all this?
Oh yeah. I watch VH1, so I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm like, what is that show?
What
Hair
else?
truck?
We are working on 2 reality shows that film early next year, both for a new network that's coming out. We work with a lot of shows. Just depend. Like I think we just did a wig for Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
So you won't tell me who the most difficult celebrity is that you've made wigs for?
Never.
Absolutely not.
Oh God, hey, man, you're letting me down.
I'm not trying to make enemies here.
Well, I'm really glad that you came by. This
Thank
was
you.
really informative, and I hope that you can use some of this. Maybe we answered some questions you can put up on your YouTube, and people can look in and figure out if they really need to find out something. Then they'll know what maybe it's something that we've discussed.
That's great.
And you drove all the way down here, and Extensions Plus is a wonderful sponsor of Don't Wig Out, and we're really grateful. But aside from that, you worked all day and you came down here, both of you, and I really appreciate it.
Thank
Can we put up the contact slate? Okay. So again, 818-881-5611, Extensions Plus. And certainly you can go in and there's a showroom there, okay? But what's really interesting is it's a very good website, and the people on the phones rock out. They're very astute, and they'll answer every question you have. So thank you again. Yay.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate us being
Yeah,
here.
of course.
Thank you.
Hold on
Appreciate
just
it.
one sec, though. So, well, only because did you want to go right into cap, or do we want to go to commercial?
No, we should have a
when we
commercial break.
Okay, and then we'll say goodbye. Okay, great. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Extensions Plus is the leading pioneer of hair systems and hair extensions. With over 40 years of experience, we strive to enhance your natural beauty with 100% human hair. We specialize in a collection of machine-weft bundles, closures, falls, and edges. With a large variety of styles, textures, and colors, Extensions Plus offers our clients the opportunity to express their individuality in achieving their desired look. Our patent edges are used to recreate a natural hairline for those who have little to no edges. They're comfortable, elastic, and fit the contours of your head. Our style and go falls are easy, convenient, and available in a variety of colors, textures, and sizes. We understand that your hair is a very personal topic. We have trained our staff to consult with expertise and sensitivity to ensure a quality client experience. Whatever your needs, we have the hair solution that you were looking for. At Extensions Plus, we are known for our quality and loved for our style. We look forward to helping you attain that look that you've always dreamed of.
So, welcome back to Don't Wig Out with Amy and Georgia. So, Georgia, is very involved with the children of alopecia all over the world. And I do love that about you. And so you went to Mexico, and I want to hear everything.
So
what happened?
Oh my gosh, I could do an entire show just telling people about my trip to Mexico, but I won't do that because this is a hair show. I'll talk about the hair bits or the lack of hair bits. So I was so fortunate enough to be invited. There's a group down there. We've had Jeff Wojtowicz speak on the show before.
I love him.
From Children's Alopecia Project. He started it. So one of the mums, Pamela, who's just a rock star, who brought her daughter from Mexico to go to the American camps.
Right.
And she would travel up with Mia, and they came twice. And I think after the first one, they were like, we need this in Mexico. So she started it herself. She started a Cap Mexico. And
how many members do they have?
I would say they probably have about 50. I would say with parents and family and kids, because the way that CAP works is your whole family has alopecia.
Right.
So they're thinking about the kids that are there. It's probably the youngest. There's one girl who is, I think she's about 4 or 5. And then there's also women. That's what's sort of nice is the way they've done CAP Mexico. It's not so much children. It's their name, but the women and the men who have it are allowed to be part of it because there isn't another organization really like it in Mexico.
So great.
So anyway, I'd been hearing about it, seeing photos. They're just like a snazzy.
So where in Mexico did you go?
Mexico City. So I got invited. It was kind of funny because I just get a Facebook message from Pamela and I know them and she's like, can you come down? We're going to screen your movie. Would you just come and hang out with the kids? So I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. To me, I was like, I can hang out with kids anywhere in the world. That's my favorite thing to do. So because I'm so busy, as you know, I didn't really put any time or thought into it. I was just like, sure, that day I'll get to the airport and I'll go. Like totally just carried on luggage for 4 days. I was like, I got this. I'll pack a party bag because I think they're doing a screening. So that'll do. I mean, like a party dress. And I get there and me and her mom, Pamela, and her son, Iñaki, are waiting for me at the airport. And it was just the greatest because I know Mia. So Mia hugs me, Pamela hugs me, and then Iñaki, who's this 11-year-old boy, goes, are you excited to meet me? And I was just like, yes, I am. And I have no idea who you are. Oh, no. But I'm excited. He is without doubt the greatest character I've ever come across, and I will write him into a show. He is the most incredible child. I'll talk about him a little bit over the next 10 minutes. So basically, we get into this like unmarked SUV, and we drive off through Mexico City, and these kids are just like, how does it feel to be on Final Fantasy? How does it feel to be an actress? How does it feel to have no hair? How does it feel? Like they're back on the side of me. And Mia and I are in love, you know, in our alopecia love way. We've known each other. But there's the language challenges. These kids, English isn't their first language. So we're just working through it. Pamela and I are sort of getting to know each other outside of CAP. They drop me off at a hotel and they're like, so the event's tonight. We'll pick you up at 8. Well, you'll get picked up at 8 and we'll see you there. I'm like, okay, they drop me to this beautiful hotel. I sleep for an hour, put on my party dress, and turn up, get taken, driven with Iñaki, who sits in the back going, do you have a boyfriend?
Oh,
what do you say to him? And he's like, do you tell him he's sexy? Do you tell him he's, like, he's just going, I've got a girlfriend. My girlfriend, Brenna, I tell her she's sexy. Like, he's just going, and I'm sitting in the front going, I don't know who this kid is, but this kid is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Now, you would think, oh, cute little 11-year-old kid, sweet. What he then did at this event gave me so much respect for this kid. Yes, he's outspoken. Yes, he's funny. But we turn up to this event. In my head, I thought there was going to be children everywhere.
Right.
This is not a children's event. This is adults only. It's a cocktail party to celebrate CAP Mexico, to raise money and to show my movie. And as you'll see in the pictures, there's the first few pictures, there's the red carpet, which is like the coolest red carpet I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm really glad at this point I packed a party dress. And I turn up and there's so many beautiful, gorgeous Mexican people. Like, it's the pretty people. Of Mexico, it feels like. And it turned out they really were the sort of connected, wealthier, great, kind, beautiful hearts. A lot of them don't speak English, so they had a translator set up. Now, this is the great moment. The translator comes into me and says, so when you're speaking, I'm going to put the earphones on these people. And I was like, when I'm speaking, how long did Pamela say I was going to speak for? And she goes, oh, I think 30 minutes. And I was like,
wow.
Awesome. Cool. Great. And then Pamela's there and I'm like, so I'm just going to sit over here for a couple of minutes. How long till we start? And she goes, about 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm just going to think for a second. I need to just go over what I'm going to speak about. And I sit down and I'm like, I have alopecia. Alopecia is a gift.
I'm surprised you even got that way though, because you're off the cuff.
I'm joking, sort of. In that I was like, I can do this. I've done this a million times, but it's a funny thing to get off a plane and suddenly realize you're speaking at an event to adults that you thought was a screening for children.
Right.
So anyway, Iñaki is the MC of the event. He gets on, I have translation in my ears, so I get to hear what he's saying because he speaks in Spanish. And he's up there going, tonight is about celebrating our inner beauty, about understanding that we are more than just our hair, that every human is precious and special, and we should all. And I'm just like, all the adults are going, who is this kid?
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, who is this kid? And he goes, now it is my honor and joy and pleasure and great joy to introduce this famous actress who is loved around the world. And I'm going, he better not be talking about me. And he brings me on, and I was like, I got up there, I was like, I'm pretty sure he covered everything. I should just say, enjoy the movie. But I did speak, and
Good.
if we just scroll through a few of the photos from the event, I did speak, and it went really, really well. The questions that people asked were some of the questions I've never even been asked before.
Like
after
what? What
all
was
these
one of
years.
the more interesting?
Okay, so we had the standard how's dating, how, have you found it has affected your work, all of that stuff. And then a woman says to me, what would you say to somebody that's at a point in their life where they really have given up hope on whatever it is that's happening to them? Because I'd been talking a lot about how, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. So she was like, what about if it's something devastating? In that moment, what would you say to somebody who has this thing and they just cannot look beyond?
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of that thing of like,
What'd you say?
Well, I said it was great because I really had to think, what would I say? And as I said, I almost wish that I could have one of these translator things, because I was listening to her in Spanish, and put it on that person and be in their head enough to really remind them that everything in life, when it gets bad, it's going to get so much better because of the badness. It's something that a lot of us don't believe in the moment. It's very hard to see when you're in a moment of whether it's grief, whether it's loss of a life, or whether it's an illness. It's very hard to believe that this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And it really is that moment of you being given this. And this is my opinion. And as I said to the crowd, I was like, this is my opinion. I understand some people will disagree. I believe we're given the things that we're given to make a difference or to do something special. So in that moment, to believe, even if it sucks, because it always does.
But I always believe that, God never gives us
Something we can't handle.
And I do
Exactly.
believe that if you were to look back 30 years, you know that everything has been in perfect order. Doesn't seem that way with the time, but it is.
That's sort of what I said to her, is that I wish that I could be in your ears with a little headphone and be like, this will be good. This is going to be the greatest thing. And I say I'm excited now. When something worse happens, I'm like, amazing. I cannot wait to see the goodness.
Well, that was good.
Anyway, that was the real question I've never been asked
the
before.
children's cap down there.
Yeah.
Did they go over research with parents? Did they go?
So I'll give you the full sort of tour and then we can do that. So that event finished. Then they took me to where I was staying. If you go over to the next slide, I was staying at the W Hotel. And it's the nicest hotel I've ever stayed in. It was so luxurious, the one in Mexico City. They had I'm blanking on the name. A hammock in my shower.
What?
Yeah, I showered in a hammock. We have a picture. I brought it because I just couldn't believe it. It was the greatest thing ever. I think I tweeted that out. I was like, I'm either about to have the best or the most ridiculous shower of my entire life. Either way, I'm excited. And it is the most... I was just treated like that at every point by Pamela and her family are the most gracious, loving hosts. They took me sightseeing the next day. I thought it was so perfect. Mia had the day off in her sparkle dress. There's a picture of her at her school. She showed me her school.
What do they do down there?
Yeah. So I will get to it.
Okay.
I promise. I just want to talk about this.
Yeah,
So they took me to Frida's house.
I want to know.
And there was a saying there that said, why do I need feet when I have wings to fly? And I just thought it was so apropos that this Alopecian trip involved
I actually
a trip
know of that one.
to Frida's house where she was taking her feet away, but she didn't care because and to me, it's like these kids, yes, why do I need hair if I have this heart was the way I feel about these children, because the heart they get from this, it's like, who needs hair if you have to exchange the heart?
Did you notice a difference between the kids at NAF and the kids at CAP, Mexico?
That's a political question. Do you mean?
Oh, and like you never go there.
Okay, so I will go there.
Now. We can be diplomatic in our way, but I mean, truly, I'm not asking is one organization better than the next, the other. I'm saying the actual kids and what their intention was in Mexico CAP versus what is happening at the normal NAF events.
Okay.
What were the differences?
So yes, to start that question with a story, the CAP kids and Mexico got together. We went out to Tepoztlán, and it's a town like an hour and a half out of Mexico, and they went rope climbing or rappel. They did the rappel. I'm learning Spanish. And then they went and had a pool party. And the kids were exuberant and
these
excited.
were the kids that are all kind of
They've all
dealing
got
with
alopecia.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oops, absolutely.
Okay.
When I walked in, they ran up and hugged me.
Oh,
We've got
God.
some pictures of some of these kids.
Do you love this?
In
You
there
must
as
have been
well.
so filled up.
I was so full. The really funny thing was, as I was being driven in, there was a funeral procession coming towards me. There were about 120 people, 180 people. And in my head, I was like, well, I'm very famous here because they're all like marching towards me. I was like, wow, they brought a procession. But anyway, that was just my own little joke in my head. But these kids were incredibly loving, incredibly warm, just excited. Even Javier, who's one of the boy in the picture that's there, he was shy and hidden a little bit. He wasn't ready to show his hair or lack of, but he was still very warm and loving. And you got to understand, there was language barriers. We were trying so hard. We're throwing words at it. But what I found was profound, and I am getting to answer your question, I promise.
It's okay.
Is even a dad, he had come up to me at the end of this. He was at the screening as well, and he was there on the Sunday Saturday when we were with the kids. He came and he just held me, and he wanted to show me all these pictures of his kids and the hair loss. And when I saw him again on the next day, he was just holding me, and he's the wife and the kids, and he's bringing them in, and he couldn't quite put the words together. And he goes, I don't want to do a silly Spanish accent. I'll just say it like he spoke English. These moments, they're just magic. And I was just like, they are. Like, this not being able to have words, but knowing that every single one of those people in that room connected with me on a level that doesn't require words was so profound.
Incredible.
So that's what happened. Now, that's what happens also at the camps in America. Little different because the Hispanic community and the Latino or Mexican way is to be extremely loving, extremely warm. I have to say, Amy, I was a shrinking violet at these events. It was the weirdest feeling to go somewhere and be not the person that was the most noisy and obnoxious. I was like, wow, I'm kind of shy here. Everybody was like, I love you, and the big hugs and the kisses and the mush and mush and mush. Like, just wanted to grab your face, and I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. I just gotta be careful, all my body bits keep getting touched. It was just amazing, but there is a difference when you even compare the CAP America to NAF. Now, NAF is the research organization. NAF is a very professional business organization. They specifically look at finding a cure.
Right.
You can feel that difference because CAP does not exist on that parameter.
See, I didn't know if CAP does anything
CAP
like
does
that.
not care about research. They have said that is not our business. Our business is helping
Taking care of the
children
heart.
love themselves.
Yeah, I see that.
We get that this is a long road, that we don't have an answer. So what we want to do is take care of them in this moment when there isn't an answer and they need to feel loved.
Yeah, I love Jeff that he's created that.
So there is
cool.
a different environment. When I work with the kids at NAF, in the few times I have, there's this sort of coming out feeling within them. They're like,
well,
oh my God, I'm free.
This finally their place where they can be with their comrades. And
I think that's the difference is you get this sense of I'm free to share. Whereas at CAP, they're just like, we're awesome. Look at us. So it's a very different feeling. Now, we did have an incredible last day with me and Mia and Iñaki and the family. We went tourist shopping, and I bought you something that I wanted to give you.
You're so sweet.
And it represents a lot about the heart.
Oh,
I
honey,
left it in my
you.
car because I didn't want to carry
I'll
around
get
my
it with you
bag all
when we
day.
walk
So I'll
out.
get it. But there's the last few pictures that really represent how special it was. There's a picture. I bought the kids the flutes to play so their parents would never forget me. And boy, are their parents never forgetting me. The dad already was like, I'm ready to drop you off on the freeway on the way to the airport because these kids are just going, boo, boo, boo. You got the picture there. But there's
No
there's
problem.
the most beautiful picture. I was like, give you a kiss just as we were saying goodbye. But there's a picture at the end at the airport of Iñaki, Mia, and myself, and it just really captures.
I can't even imagine how filled you must have felt. I mean, just
I got back from
4 days of that.
Mexico. Do you know every single person that saw me on Monday were like, wow, where have you been?
Isn't that
You
great?
seem,
How
I mean,
beautiful.
admittedly, I had a weekend for the first time in 12 years.
Right.
However, just the love was incredibly beautiful. So that was my trip to Cap Mexico,
How great.
folks. And I really encourage people in any part of the world that have alopecia to think about actually starting your own cap, because they did that off the idea of Jeff. And Jeff is very happy to share his information and everything. That's how it started. So if you're a mum in another part of the world, because I know we have a lot that tune in from around the world because this is their one outlet.
Right.
Think about it. It's really simple and easy. All you do is say, let's go to the zoo as a group. We do it here in California. We have the California Cap as well. So it's just about creating outings where these kids get a day to play with people, kids that look the same as them.
Right.
So yeah, that was Cap.
How great. Well, I congratulate you. That was huge.
Thank
Huge.
you. I really, it was one of those moments where I didn't get what I do is unique or whatever. And I couldn't help but come back realizing it because they kept saying, they were like, you're special. And I was like, no, I just like kids.
Well, I'm glad you shared that.
It was so nice. Thank you.
That was fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm always impressed by her. Oh. So you know who else is going to impress us next week?
I am so excited from the little you have told me.
I'm telling you. So Reba is an incredible journalist who she's like lied her way through Hollywood. Reba Merrill is her name. I said to her, give me a one-liner for you. And she goes, I lied my way through Hollywood. And she goes, I didn't sleep my way, but I lied my way. But what's interesting about Reba is not the Hollywood thing. That, she's coming here with a lot of great, wonderful dish. It's really who she's survived as the woman she is through the years that she's been doing this. She talks about her age. I was on her show 2 weeks ago. She's talking about her age on camera. I'm like, who the hell
does that?
Who mentions her age on camera? But she's very authentic in the midst of living in a very unauthentic world. No, she's not.
I'm joking.
But I mean, for somebody who's lived in this unauthentic world for 60 years, she's actually one of the most authentic women I've ever met.
Awesome.
So she's going to be on next week. And we have a few emails that came in that I want to address, having to do more with the holidays coming up and, kind of our expectations, and we want things to be different for the new year. And, our hair may not be back by then, or maybe it will be. And we may have also a surprise guest that comes on a little bit, too, and talking about some hair loss stuff.
Can we talk about something next week?
Yeah.
Actually, because this is something that comes up for me more so when I'm volunteering. It's always so hard to find a way to keep my hair on my head all day without headbands or things that sort of mess up the hair. Can we talk about options for cooking on Christmas?
Yeah.
Christmas,
What a great thing. I have a great idea for that.
Because if you've got the whole family over and you're cooking a 14-person meal, you can't have your hair perfect, but you don't want to put a hat on or a headband because when you sit down, you don't want to ruin it.
No, I have a great idea for you.
Great.
Great
Thank
idea.
you.
So it's Cooking with Hair next week. It's Reba Merrill. It's Georgia. It's me. And we'll see you next week at 8 o'clock. And thanks so much for tuning in. And Cindy and our other caller who called in that was so fabulous. I can't remember her name right now. Thank you so much for taking part in our show tonight. I hope you got some answers from Helene Stahl at Extensions Plus, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Clap along if you feel like a room with